Now the picture becomes even clearer. According to senators and intelligence officials, 3 categories of evidence drove the revolt. First, intercepted communications. NSA officials reportedly presented decrypted phone calls and encrypted messages in which Trump explicitly acknowledged sharing classified information and tied those disclosures directly to business approvals. Second, financial records. Treasury investigators traced approximately $2.3 billion in foreign transfers over 6 months, repeatedly following classified disclosures. Senator Elizabeth Warren described the pattern as unmistakable: disclosure, then payment, 11 times. Third, whistleblower testimony. 4 officials, including 2 military officers, an NSA analyst, and a White House national security staffer, filed protected reports describing Trump discussing or sharing classified intelligence in contexts directly connected to business interests. One declassified whistleblower excerpt describes Trump saying during a September 2024 meeting, "They want to know about our satellite capabilities. I'll tell them if they approve the Jakarta project." This isn't just about Trump. It's about precedent. If a president can monetize classified intelligence and survive due to partisan loyalty, then checks and balances cease to function. The implications for national security are catastrophic. Trump now faces an impossible bind. Deny the disclosures and contradict intercepts senators say are explicit. Admit sharing intelligence for policy reasons and confront financial records showing personal benefit. Claim declassification authority and still face the charge of abusing office for profit. No single defense resolves all 3. Legal scholars are calling this the gravest constitutional crisis since Watergate, possibly worse. Lawrence Tribe said if proven, the conduct represents the clearest impeachable offense imaginable. Former CIA Director John Brennan warned the actions would constitute criminal espionage violations if committed by anyone else. Even longtime Trump defenders acknowledge the severity. Former Attorney General William Barr wrote that if proven, the allegations represent a fundamental betrayal of the presidential oath. The consequences are enormous. Senate business grinds to a halt. Governance freezes. Foreign allies question intelligence sharing. Military leaders face uncertainty. The presidency weakens in real time. Polling shows 64% of Americans support a full Senate trial, including 38% of Republicans. Trump's televised response denied wrongdoing, attacked Republican senators as traitors, and framed impeachment as a conspiracy, but avoided addressing the evidence. Analysts say those attacks may accelerate defections, not prevent them. With 51 Democrats and 18 Republicans already aligned, Trump must stop at least 16 more Republicans from defecting. Every attack makes that harder. This is no longer political theater. It's a test of whether impeachment still works. The articles are filed. The trial is coming. Witnesses will testify. Classified evidence will be reviewed. And the Senate will vote on whether a president can betray national security for personal profit and remain in office. What happens next won't just decide Trump's fate, it will determine whether presidential accountability still exists. The United States Senate has plunged into unprecedented turmoil. In a stunning turn of events, 18 Republican senators joined all 51 Democrats earlier today to move forward articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. This marks the first time in American history that a sitting president has faced impeachment proceedings initiated and driven by members of his own party. And make no mistake, this isn't symbolic dissent or performative outrage. This is a genuine bipartisan fracture fueled by allegations so severe that senators who once built their reputations defending Trump are now openly calling for his removal from office. When the Senate Majority Whip defects and co-authors impeachment articles with the opposing party, the political scaffolding holding this presidency together collapses instantly. Subscribe right now, because the developments unfolding here are unlike anything we've ever seen. So what caused this extraordinary Republican rebellion? According to multiple senators present at a classified intelligence briefing held on January 20, U.S. intelligence leaders presented evidence that Trump personally authorized the release of highly classified signals intelligence to a foreign adversary in exchange for personal business benefits. Senators from both parties described what they saw as devastating. Sources familiar with the briefing say the materials included intercepted communications, financial transaction records, and sworn testimony from senior national security officials who directly witnessed the alleged conduct. This is not another impeachment rooted in partisan disagreement or policy disputes. Legal scholars are calling this the most severe threat to a presidency since Watergate. And when Republicans who voted to acquit Trump in both prior impeachments now spearhead efforts to remove him, it's clear something catastrophic has ruptured the party. Here's how everything unraveled. Tensions had been quietly building since early January, when the Senate Intelligence Committee, chaired by Mark Warner with Vice Chair Marco Rubio, launched an investigation into unauthorized disclosures of classified information. But everything detonated on January 20, when the full Senate was summoned for a mandatory classified briefing on what intelligence officials described as grave and immediate national security risks stemming from executive actions. Held inside the Senate's secure facility, the 4-hour briefing was conducted by Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines and NSA Director Timothy Haugh. Senators emerged visibly shaken. According to multiple lawmakers who spoke afterward, intelligence officials laid out a 6-month pattern in which Trump allegedly shared classified signals intelligence detailing U.S. capabilities in the South China Sea with representatives of a foreign government in return for approval of Trump Organization development projects valued at roughly $2 billion. The evidence reportedly included decrypted communications between Trump and foreign officials, Treasury-tracked financial transfers, and sworn testimony from 4 national security officials who filed protected whistleblower disclosures. What makes these allegations especially explosive is the nature of the intelligence involved. Senator Angus King, who chairs the Intelligence Committee's Cybersecurity Subcommittee, said the information allegedly disclosed compromised ongoing military operations, exposed intelligence collection methods refined over decades, and endangered human sources. This wasn't about policy disagreements or questionable judgment calls. This was about allegations that a president sold national security secrets for personal profit. Hit like if you're following so far. Things escalated rapidly. Within 2 hours of the briefing's conclusion, Republican Senator Mitt Romney convened an emergency meeting of what he called concerned Republicans inside a secure Senate conference room. According to staffers, 17 Republican senators attended, including Majority Whip John Thune, Judiciary Chair Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, and Todd Young. The meeting lasted 90 minutes and was described by attendees as one of the most emotional and consequential gatherings of Republican senators in modern history. According to multiple accounts, Romney opened the meeting with a blunt assessment: "We have just seen evidence that the president betrayed his oath for personal gain. If we fail to act, we become complicit. History will judge us by what we do in the next 48 hours." The room reportedly went silent. Then Lindsey Graham stood up. Witnesses say his voice broke as he spoke. "I've defended this president through everything. I've justified conduct that made me deeply uncomfortable because I believed it served policy goals. What we saw today isn't politics. It isn't policy. It's treason by any reasonable definition." That moment, senators say, changed everything. Marco Rubio followed, emphasizing the strength of the evidence. "The intelligence is undeniable," he reportedly said. "There are intercepts. There are financial records. There are witnesses willing to testify. If this isn't impeachable, then nothing is. Drop a comment if you expected this." By 8 p.m. that night, Republican senators had begun drafting articles of impeachment, an extraordinary step, given that impeachment traditionally originates in the House. Romney later explained the decision publicly: "With the House controlled by Republicans unwilling to act, the Senate had a constitutional obligation to respond to direct knowledge of high crimes. We are fulfilling our duty," he said. The impeachment articles, released just after midnight on January 21, contain 2 counts. The first alleges betrayal of national security for personal gain, accusing Trump of knowingly disclosing classified intelligence regarding U.S. military capabilities to a foreign power in exchange for business concessions benefiting the Trump Organization. The second alleges obstruction of Congress, charging that Trump directed executive officials to withhold information and instructed witnesses to defy subpoenas. The most damaging material lies in the supporting documentation. While much remains classified in sealed annexes accessible only to cleared senators, the public sections quote declassified intelligence summaries. One passage describes an August 12, 2024 meeting at Trump's private club where intercepted communications allegedly show Trump revealing the capabilities and locations of specific intelligence collection systems in exchange for foreign approval of a Trump Organization development project. Another section details wire transfers. 3 days later, nearly $847 million reportedly moved from foreign government-controlled entities into accounts linked to Trump Organization projects, transfers Treasury investigators labeled quid pro quo payments. The political shockwave was immediate. Republican senators impeaching a Republican president using intelligence evidence with specific dates, dollar figures, and descriptions of classified disclosures fundamentally changed the calculus. Trump survived prior impeachments through party loyalty. This time, that shield appears shattered.